Hello and welcome. This is the Daily Dharma. My name is Dina with Impressive Warrior. Thank you for joining today. So much gratitude for your time and attention. Let's synchronize our energies and intentions for a clear reading. Taking a deep breath and releasing all that troubles you, any negativity, any attachment energy, any worries or anxieties or fears, false evidence appearing real. Let that pass through the smoke. Let's do a little prayer as well to start this one out. Just before pressing the go button, I was instructed to call powerfully to the prayer that I give, and so I will give it once again. God, Source, Spirit, God, Goddess, angels, archangels, ascended masters, ancestors, all unconditionally loving beings, galactics, realized entities, and thought forms from the highest possible good, gather here today and give us a clear insight and understanding into where we are putting our energy as we read the collective energies. As you can see, I've opted to dress up one of my previous accessories. You know, women are always being told to look pretty, so I put on this nice little banner for you guys. Some are out here promoting that it's denial, but there's some interesting facts. There are plenty of resources that we've already been putting out. We're just going to let the cards speak to us today. I'm also happy to report that I stopped by a local bookstore, cards and gemstone store. Had to get some gifts for a friend of mine. And I found 2 new tarot cards that we're going to get out for you guys. And one is called Beyond Lemuria by Izzy Ivy. There's the guidebook there. The second one is a third of mine, Alana Fairchild, third Alana Fairchild deck I have purchased here, Medicine Heart. Both of these have some gorgeous imagery. I love Alana Fairchild's. I noticed that other readers tend to favorite theirs. All right, we'll stop there since a little pile came out. Under the deck, we have Merkaba. There's an expansion of energy. Let's see what that energy reads like. First pile, all right. We've got root chakra, magic, fertility, integration, and emergence. Moving from left to right. There's a magical connection to the earth here from the viewer. You are very plugged in to the collective. And I'll tell you also that this came through recently with my acknowledgement of how aware and sensitive I am to the collective vibrations. I'll notice, and you may notice this as well, that my sensitivity is exponential when there is enlightenment going on amongst the creative collective that surrounds me. And as a sensitive individual from an early age, I have learned strategically to cope with influx energies with many different behaviors. And one such is numbing or complacency or apathy, saying if you can't beat them, at least don't give them your attention type of thing, you know. But where has that ever gotten us in the past? I would suggest that my cards have been suggesting to many of us over the previous decades, if not exacerbated over the last decade in particular, that the so-called meek have been strategically gaslit into being the better, bigger person. in light of anything. Now, some of us are choosing to respond to this as something, symbolically yells in our face, attempting to manipulate or gaslight us to our power and our effectiveness. Some are choosing to smile. Some are choosing silence and gray wall. Some are choosing activism. Some are choosing anger. And there's infinite responses, and however feels right to you is right for you. But at any rate, each of us is responding. I've seen people activating again the older movement, that 4B movement, thinking it's new again. Well, let's just keep going with the cards. I don't want to get too many tangents today. I feel like I've done that, and it's time for all of us who have been extremely creative types living in the in the 0 point field, the space of multiplicity sounds duplicitous, but the multiversal aspect of the self that understands that all things are positive and plausible and possible. But because this time is also critical, it's very important to stay lucid. And lucidity is not only going to be happening in the ethers. The ethers are like the airways are always corrupted by our own perspectives and perceptions. And it's no argument that each of us is different. And that's what is being broadcast. We are frequency readers as energy enlightened individuals, light workers, shamans, and so on. And we are swimming in the vibrations of our friends, family, and colleagues and neighbors. There is so much anger and so much enlightenment going on through this process that would not have been able to have truly come through had it gone any other way. And the more that we can trust the process of, sometimes you have to let the rope go out a little ways so that an individual will trip and fall into the trap. And I feel like when we look to our leaders and we see things that don't quite add up right now, and evidence that there's quiet going on, I think that it's quiet for a reason. I think that it's not okay to draw everybody into this, because that's when things get spun. And so here we have our ability to tap into wherever our magic lies, but it's, as I started to say, not all etheric and cosmic in inspiration. It has to be deeply rooted in the trust of the earth and how self-correcting the earth is. And I think that fundamentally many will be questioning, or possibly should be questioning, something that I would always encourage you to look at on the quantum level. The 0 is the God. It is the multiplicity. It is the feminine space of possibility. She is the life giver. And in that essence, it controls the seed. It can be no other way. This is also physics. And so to disempower ourselves by telling ourselves multiple different stories that something else can come over us, the one is only a temporary indicator of a construct. As we project the expectation into the one, we make a choice, we make an observation. But ultimately, the 0 is the inner Godhead, and that is always the chooser. And there's this line in the Big Fat Greek Wedding that always struck me, and it's coming back spontaneously now, that even though it appears that men are the head, women are the neck that turn the head. And I think we're going to see that. There's going to be a rumbling within the earth. I think the elementals are supporting this process. And I think that there is an awakening, and this is going to sound a little crazy to any who are more literal thinkers, but I do believe that the power of the collective vibrationally and energetically is what actually steers the weather in many cases. I mean, it is an obviously responsive and vibrationally evidenced and interwoven event horizon that we take in every day. And it's been raining since the election here. The earth is crying. And yes, those tears will replenish the earth. So there's this fertility process where our roots are digging in and being nourished by the floods and the famines here, because there's magic. So we're going to need to integrate the true lessons of the collective of overcoming our codependency with the captors, the Stockholm syndrome aspect of it. We're also going to have to personally in our own lives, we're going to have to face up to oppressive circumstances, victimized mentalities where we haven't become the hero of our narrative yet. And this doesn't mean we have to go in and be making some kind of scene, unless that's what you're called to do. But I think that being more grounded right now is what we really need to do to help integrate the magic that is surrounding us with the elementals, with the ancestors. The ancestors, some of them are rolling in their graves. So as we empower ourselves with the truth of our magical capacity, any multiversal being can say to themselves that everything that we witness is in a state of becoming. Everything is temporary and nothing is static. So if you think that things are over just when somebody says it's over, it's a battle, not a war. Every observation is a snapshot and nothing more. And when we understand our power and capacity to choose the next moment, what happens, then we can stop feeling victimized and start understanding our sacred power to conjure, not from a place of fear, but a place of understanding the truth and honor and justice required by everything. I even no feeling of shame here. I even spoke to my swamp and my trees here from my witchiness. I'm not really a witch, but if we could call it that for just simplicity's sake. I was singing along to a beautiful song. I shared it last night. I have a late season rose blooming in the garden with little droplets of water that just bloomed the last few days. And the water staying on it, and just speaking and feeling with the trees that even in this case, the trees, do you think the trees, as sentient beings out here feeding us with oxygen and us with them carbon dioxide in exchange, do you think that there is not a collective mourning that goes into knowing that gutting departments like the Environmental Protection Agency doesn't impact the environment and Mother Earth? Do you think that Mother Earth is not alive and self-correcting? The earth is going to shake. Okay, so the next reveal, beautiful. We have Tantric Journey, Empowerment, Divine Masculine, and Gaia. So the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine are within each of us. Obviously, we have said this many times. And this is the gathering up, the rooting in of the empowerment of the truth of the Divine Masculine and what it actually means to be a man. And it has always been for to be quite specific in my country, it has always been for white people to stand up and say that, no, I don't fucking care for the Confederate flag. Thank you very much. And it has always been for men to say, no, I will never disparage my lineage and my beingness. My body is evidence of the mother. I will not spit in my mother's face. And I would never grab her or my daughter in any way such as that. And anyone that comes to your door and pretends that more people fell into the toxic is a liar. I got to just grab these gemstones real quick. So Mother Earth, Gaia, I think that men are sitting with something here. And I also, before I even was feeling that way, this was really about everyone who has been disrespected, male, female, and whatever. It doesn't matter. It's the people. It is the souls, the genderless souls gathering up their inner alignment with their masculine and feminine parts and saying, this is an atrocity and this is crimes against humanity. Full stop. And to empower the divinity to come back online, I think it was important to move through this to help us expand our awareness. So before I get too entangled with my old decks, I want to get into these ones. Which one wants to come first? I've got this one in my hand. This is the Beyond Lemuria Oracle. Just want to get a few out here. They're still all new to me. 25, Freedom. Beautiful dragonfly of transformation, delicate, intuitive, transformational awareness, being able to be empowered and not devoured by your sensitivity. I started that discussion about how sensitive I was and others, and how we've dealt by kind of having to compartmentalize those energies. I think that some of us will find that there's been an emotional upheaval in some type of a way. Some people, again, as we were kind of alluding earlier, some people have cried, some people have shouted, some people have typed, some people have gone to sleep and just kind of been resting and resting. Some people have meditated, some people have activated. And with this freedom, it is really, it's activating the tantric journey. It is no longer allowing apathy and complicity in this moment. And even those that didn't think they cared, I think are starting to wonder why everybody is, saying the things that they are. So freedom, 25, I think that we need to recognize and to liberate our energy and our chi here with Tantric Journey, to empower our ability to take action and not to just say, oh, well, when those red coats come, I'm just going to trust that things work out because, if they come and just take over my city and my rights, then that must be the will of the divine. Do you think? Or do you think that individuals are imbued with freedom and intelligence and a discerning mind? Do you think that people deserve to be who they are? I do. And it's blue. That card is blue. And then we have Crown Chakra, the unlimited self. It's exactly what we're talking about. I love these cards. I knew they were calling to me in the shop. It's this etheric emanation from the crown chakra that I'm seeing in this. It's like I'm even feeling something kind of like washing across the front of my sinuses right now as well. There's this huge ripple effect happening in our ability to believe in our magical capacity for change. We don't need to go march 100 miles in January, which is one of the event invites I did get, which, I'm here for whatever. But really, I I'm going to do a few other things, like making some demands upon my elected officials and making sure that my personal vote has been tallied. I've got some um, emails into the Secretary of State in Michigan. I called them at 9:15 a.m. and they told me to call back during business hours via a recording. There was no ability to leave a message. So I don't know why the phones appear to be off, or who knows, maybe they're jammed, but I was not able to reach them. It's interesting that there's nobody available at this point. So we'll see what happens with that. But I would encourage everybody, no matter what side you voted for, to make sure that democracy has been served, because if it has not, there is a bigger problem than who got elected. I don't care if neither of them get in, as long as we know that something is going to be just. And the fact that he was even allowed to get in there would tell me that the mainstream press and politicians are more corrupt than we would like to believe. But we, the people, are always the ones that keep those people in office. And if we decide there's been a misrepresentation or a dereliction of duties or a supreme threat to democracy or to our person, it is our moral capacity and responsibility to demand action and to take personal action for that which you are inspired to take action towards, but not to lie down. Every day I'm hearing, either living, waking up hopeful, inspired, and empowered to make a difference, to breathe deeply in the ethers that are around us, to transform them into evidence of our beingness and our empowered connectivity with all that's around us. And if we are here to inspire love, then never give up. Beautiful. Under the deck, we have radical expansion. That's what this Merkaba is. Underneath that is Earth. The Earth is expanding, the consciousness evolution of the Earth. This is part of the Ascension process. And in order for the Earth to help us transform, it had to put a lot of pressure on in a very quick manner, I'm hearing, in order to alchemize the proper frequency shift and upgrade, in order to be able to be compatible with a new experience and expression. We were required to purge a lot of old karma that was weighing us down and holding the perimeter of our beingness within a shell, like an eggshell. And now I'm seeing the eggshell breaking as this dragonfly is breaking through the chrysalis into this home card, coming back home to the center, to the center of the heart space here, and to meditate for peace and love. This is 11:11 today. The 11:11 portal is open. And look at this, like I'm hearing Care Bear stare type of thing, where that seed, that kernel at the center of the heart is invested in so fully, that Grinch-like heart that all of us sometimes get when we are feeling some kind of a way is expanding and expanding, and suddenly that Christed energy expands so much you are within the ball of light, the Merkaba ball of light, the home, free in your energy, to do and to be and to believe and to manifest whatever you are and will to do. Look at that dragon is actually conjured by the individual in the lower area here. All the chakra colors of the rainbow, the diversity coming out. This dragon has a third eye, and it is delicately poised to do the bidding of the feminine magician here. And she's demanding for an expansion of her energy, of the momentum of a movement, of the truth, honor, clarity, justice. A few more flew out here. We have Manifestia, number 36. That one gives me tingles down into my hips. So there's something very rooted and sacral as well. We did already have that root chakra coming out. It's like, yes, we are the birthers. This is the passion flower I'm seeing here. And blue butterflies, being able to be quite delicate, yet profoundly ferocious and fierce in what we declare. And it's an energetic thing, which doesn't mean that anger is going to be heard more profoundly. The clearest of bells will even reach those who don't want to believe you. And if you can see this, she's reaching into the root space at the third eye level. Do you see the third eye art on her head here? It's like she's tingling the third eye and the root, shaking the roots that people stand on foundationally, what they believe in. Ooh, oh my gosh. Transformation 53. Oh my God. The next one is surrender. And the infinite. There's a transformation happening. This is the ascension process where the body is being upgraded and turned on its head. See that somersault backflip? There's this inversion and compression and release and purging that is underway as we make it through this 1111 portal. I was seeing this earlier yet again with the depiction of the never-ending story where Atreyu, the hero, has to go through this sacred portal through the Sphinx eyes. And if you weren't true of heart, you wouldn't make it through the portal type of a thing. And I'm not saying that to be scary or to say that some are going to be turned to dust or vaporized here. But I feel like the divine is asking us to trust and to not cycle into these old ways, to continue to raise our voices for truth and for honor and justice in whatever way is true for you. And as we see on the other side here, if we can surrender to our own grace and beauty and our own ability to affect change in our lives, I think this prayerful pose does some backflips here, energetically speaking, and then comes out with this connection to the infinite here. And with the infinite, I feel like that is, I feel that this is a huge change, again, radical expansion in this moment. And I think that we can expect great things to happen. I keep calling for something extreme is perhaps going on. I want to show you this card. Something extreme is going on here where we're going to find out and be somewhat clued in by the time possibly November 15th. And I believe that we're going to see some huge 180s by the time that the holiday Christmas season is here in the States throughout December. And I have already predicted that more Epstein information is going to be stepping forward. Things are going to be declassified. Things are going to be getting real. And I believe that both Trump and Elon and their compatriots are all, they realize that people know, but they're hoping that they can continue and push things through before enough evidence is raised or enough wherewithal is to be had for people to contest. And I think that they're a flight risk. I continue to see journey by ship and by air with the take flight. I think that they're going to try to move to a country without extradition because crimes against humanity are coming out, people. So I do want to show you this. This one came out yesterday as I was just coming through the cards. And I feel like the cicada Christ, look at that. This individual, that is the divine masculine. He's like, WTF, I didn't do it, but what are you going to do? Will you march with us? You know, will you show up with us? I think that this guy will. This is cicadas are the ones that lie dormant in the earth, below the earth, until such time as the conditions are right. I think it's generally 3 years. And then they burst forward, and then there is a ton of them, and then they go back under the earth again, and they hibernate like that again. And it's like the inner Christ, the Christ buried within us, within our ability to be powerful, transformational agents in our lives, and so therefore in our communities and in the very ethers. We don't even need to say a thing if we just believe sometimes. Everybody has their own particular sacred mission at this time. So we're running out of time again. I hope that this 1111 portal finds you beautifully realigning with yourself. Stay grounded and infinite like you are, and the way will be shown. Trust that things are moving in a powerful direction. There's a reason a lot of us psychics are feeling good all of a sudden. From the time of this, I went through my mourning phase and my disbelief, but I feel alive and empowered. I think Carmela's coming. Just saying. All right, guys, let's see. Can we get some cards from this deck? What have you to say, Medicine Heart? This earthly feminine is feeling a little silenced. There she is. Dragon Fae of the West. Beautiful. Yes, so the dragon, the year of the dragon, this 8, that dragonfly energy behind, it is the dragonfly that is the dragon within the divine sacred feminine heart, whatever gender. And I think that she's going to be riding the winds of change. What is the West? Is the West Raphael? Guardians of the West and the East. Collective of the Southwest, other areas of the world as well. Feminines are rising. And 41 sacred law of the Northwest. It is so incredible that we're getting the directions. All of the directions. The sacred feminine is rumbling. Anything else? Matter, materia, medicina, or whatever you say. Not my monkeys, but I will tame them just the same. We are manifesting through the power of our capacity to stay grounded,